Do you know what this place is? It's the Valley of Hope. This is one of the prettiest villages in Malaya. It nestles at the foot of the curving hills, and its people go happily about their occupations. The children hurry to school. The grown-ups chat and gossip and idle in the sun, do the housework, put out the washing and dig their gardens, just as village people do the world over. And the soil rewards them for their care. A model village, a model life. But is it? This is leprosy, a disease that ravages the mind as well as the body because it destroys human relationships. Wives are separated from husbands, and mothers from their children. But today, leprosy can be cured. And the superintendent of this settlement at Sungai Buloh near Kuala Lumpur tells how.
Leprosy is caused by a germ. It's not due to anything these people have done, but the fact that they came in contact with a case of leprosy when they were children. Now here is the bacillus as seen down a microscope. Shall we see how it all starts? Here is a young lady who shows the very earliest signs of the disease. Just a pale patch on her cheek. It's not an ordinary patch or one due to ringworm, because she cannot feel light touch, or the difference between heat and cold. And another thing, this patch does not itch. Now a little further advanced, see how the patch is beginning to spread and thicken the surrounding skin. Here the nerves are beginning to be affected. There is loss of power in his foot. He cannot raise it. And also the muscles of the hand are beginning to waste. As the disease progresses, so all these signs become more obvious. The skin more invaded and thickened, paralyses more crippling and widespread, rendering the untreated case one of the most pitiful sights of this world. Now all this has changed. Since 1948, there has been available for all who come for treatment a new and powerful drug called sulfone. This girl came for treatment only when the patches had reached this advanced stage. Gradually she improved as the sulfone began to work and the patches flattened. Now, apart from a faint scar, all has disappeared and she is well. Now she's ready to return home. Small injection, given once or twice a week, has brought about this wonderful transformation. The earlier the patient comes for treatment, the quicker and more certain is the action of the drug.
And so the children come to the clinic once a week for their sulfone. They come with smiles, with trust and faith, knowing that in the hands of these devoted attendants lies the miracle that will make them whole again. Except for the weekly visit to the clinic, there's nothing here to remind the inhabitants that it's different from anywhere else. There is a hospital, it's true, but it's for patients suffering from other things, from the sicknesses that the wasting nature of leprosy lays them open to. There are willing hands to care for them, hands of lepers like themselves. They have been trained as nurses and attendants by the matron, who, together with the superintendent, is one of the few people in the settlement not affected by the disease. Thus, Sungai Buloh looks after itself, and life there is complete and full, and surprisingly near normal. The settlement is almost self-supporting. It buys all the surplus grown there, a two-way benefit. And with the money earned from vegetables and pork, from eggs, chickens and coconuts, the villagers have cash for the luxuries and odds and ends that bring variety to the daily round. Meat and fish are almost the only foodstuffs that aren't homegrown. It's cut and weighed and haggled over, for housewives must assert their privileges wherever they live. The staple rations are supplied free, but there's always the best cut to be chosen, and that calls for a bit of banter with the butcher. And if they don't grow their own vegetables, there are plenty there from someone else's plot. So after a gossip in the market, home the women go to their pleasant houses and gardens to get on with the housework. There's nothing institutional here. Married couples can live together in their own homes, and single people share houses in pairs. The men lack nothing in home comforts, even if they have to do the chores for themselves. And so life goes on in the settlement of Sungai Buloh as it does anywhere else. Friends are made, and enemies too, no doubt. And people help each other, just as they do anywhere. In the workshop, artificial limbs, rejects from overseas, are cut down, reshaped, and made to fit. The carpenters and mechanics do all the repairs of the settlement, and make new things too. And not only useful things, but works of art. Work just for the love of it, for pride in good craftsmanship. Almost every piece of equipment the settlement needs is made here. And this training in various trades not only earns a man a modest wage and gives him a sense of usefulness, but it prepares him for work in the world when the time comes for him to leave. The school has its problems. So many different languages to deal with, and so many different age groups, and a shifting population of pupils and teachers as they come in, are cured, and leave again. But school is school, and even with its special difficulties, the remarkable thing about this school of lepers is its normalness. It's a boarding school, and the boys and girls find plenty of time to lounge around, play games, and read in their sunny dormitories. They learn to be useful too, and independent. The girls make their own clothes, and they teach each other the tricks of homecraft and follow the fashions to keep up with the world they'll be returning to. There's something for all ages and tastes, and the many clubs, sports and entertainments are run by the settlement dwellers themselves, as are the shops, the school, the religious services. It's not surprising, perhaps, that a community like this, temporarily isolated from the world, turns more to things of the spirit. These afflicted people of different races find comfort and peace in Christian, Hindu, Muslim, or Buddhist faiths. Comfort and peace until the day comes when they can go. But for many of the older folk, that day will never come. The new cure was too late for them. For Ah Chu, it's come today. She is young, and the disease was caught in time. Do you remember Ah Chu? This is how she looked when she first came here. And if the disease had not got such a grip in the first place, there'd be nothing to show at all. But still, it's miracle enough. Ah Chu is lucky. She has a loving family waiting for her, ready to welcome her home, to make the way back into life easy for her. But for most, especially for the older people, leaving the security of Sungai Buloh is not as easy as it is for Ah Chu. Science with its cures has marched ahead of public opinion and left us with our old-fashioned prejudices. It is for us now to forget the superstitions of the past, to welcome back into our midst those who face an unknown future with fear and courage as they set forth into the world again, reborn in the Valley of Hope.